In 2020, I did about a little bit over $3 million in revenue with my main company. 2021, I did 14 million. 2023, I did 50 plus. And I own 100% of the company.
So how do you get access to buying Windex wholesale?
That's the $1 million question. One of my favorite items that I always sold was Elgato HD capture cards. On that item, I was cleaning shop, selling over 2,000 units a month. Whenever someone needed to be fired, I'd dish off that task to someone else. I'm not the best with confrontation.
When did you realize, like, oh shit, I'm onto something?
One thing I attribute the most to my success is starting early. I'm surprised that I built that company up to multiple 8 figures in annual revenue with how laid back it was ran. So I invested with someone I know here in Miami, over $1 million in my liquid Ponzi.
Damn, $1 million.
Quick background, okay. I'm 22 years old.
That's crazy.
I started e-commerce in 2017 because I saw some kids sitting on a Lamborghini. So I paid $2,500 to go to this in-person event in...
How old were you, 16?
I was 15 and a half.
Holy shit.
So I had to convince my mom who, and it wasn't
Dude, this
her money.
has to be on the podcast.
I know.
This is too good. Hold on, are we rolling? All right, we're rolling. Okay, good.
Okay.
Sorry.
So yeah,
so you had to convince your mom.
So I was 15 and a half. This was 2017. And I remember seeing this guy sitting on a Lamborghini and I was just like, holy shit. Like, he's so young. How is he doing this? And there's a saying, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
That's the exact thing, right? I could have for sure got scammed or God knows what.
Right.
And I convinced my mom. This guy hopped on the phone with my mom. I'm surprised. Shout out Bunt. Bunt is the guy, I don't know if you've ever seen him, Jeffrey Bunting. He's one of the OGs in the drop shipping space and whatnot.
Okay. And
I paid this guy $2,500. I went to his in-person event in Southern California, November of 2017. First 9 days on eBay, I did $1,900 in sales.
Wow.
And that's when I was like, this is real money.
What'd you sell?
I don't remember. I know one of the items that was my best seller was I was drop shipping. It was a Adidas backpack from Dick's Sporting Goods. I bought it for like $14, $15, and I sold it for like 20, 22, which there's not really money in it, to be honest with you. So that was one of the first products. And then I realized, like, hey, I'm doing all this revenue, but I'm not lining my pockets whatsoever. There's no profit in this.
Really?
Because you're drop shipping. The original drop shipping business model is, let's say, this microphone right here.
Yeah.
Sells for, I don't know, $100 on, what's a website besides Amazon that would sell this? It's a
Best Buy?
Best Buy. Let's say this is $100 at Best Buy. I would take this listing from Best Buy, list it on Amazon for $120, and then if you bought that item, I would go ahead and order it from Best Buy, check out with all your details, and send it straight to you. Gotcha. I have that little $10 to $20 gross margin there, but you're not making any money. Mm-hmm. Between shipping, you have to pay taxes because you're not doing a business-to-business transaction. You're checking out as the client. So you pay sales tax, you pay shipping, you pay everything in between, and there's no money left for the seller. That's when it clicked, because I always knew if you buy in bulk, and my thought process was Costco. You know, if you go to Target, if you go to Walmart, you buy 1 unit for $1, or you go to Target and buy 12 for $6, or Costco for 12 for $6 or 12 for $8, a much cheaper price per unit. So if you buy in bulk, you're gonna get that discount, and that is what allowed me to make the margins to actually scale the business. Gotcha. So started eBay 2017. I quickly changed from the drop shipping business model to the wholesale business model where you buy in bulk. And I had a plug-in with this luxury beauty cosmetics company. It was insane. I was buying these bins of units that were close to expiration, and I was flipping them. That's crazy. I built that to $65,000 a month in revenue.
In revenue, what was your profit, would you say?
Not a lot, man, to be honest with you. Maybe 10, less than 10.
Okay,
But it's better than
How
zero.
old were you, if you remember?
That was 2018, so I was 16.
That's crazy. 16 making 10 grand a month.
16, yeah.
That's crazy.
But the issue with the business, and you know, I'm not saying this is like a real issue, but the only way we scale is by having more inventory. So it's a very cash-heavy business. For you, whatever you bill to your clients, usually a good amount of profit. Correct. Because it's a service-based business. Correct. With me, if I wanted to get from 1 million to 10 million, the only way I'm going to do that is by putting more money into the business. Right. And, you know, I didn't have credit. I was underage. I didn't have, you know, hard money investors. I didn't have any of that. So I had to bootstrap these companies from literally nothing. I didn't have a nail to scratch my ass when I started.
That's nuts.
And if you really think about it, like, I could sit here and play the world's smallest violin and talk about, you know, a single mother growing up sleeping on the floor for the first few years of my life, but that doesn't do anything for anyone, right? Overall, I just found an opportunity to arbitrate, buy low, sell high, one of the oldest business models out there, whether it's in retail storefronts, whether it's online. That's all it is. Buy low, sell high, whether you're in real estate, whether you're in sneaker reselling, whatever it is, buy low, sell high. And it was super simple. And as I mentioned, ignorance is bliss. You know, I didn't realize a lot of, if I had to go ahead and start today from zero, from scratch, looking at the business, I'd point out all the red flags. I'd be like, this, that. And I'd get cold feet.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just, what is it called when everybody just looks for every single reason not to do something?
Pessimism, right? Maybe I get what you're saying.
That's like when you don't.
When you're just negative, yeah. I don't know.
It's I forgot. It's like you don't take action because of this. I forgot what it's called, but anyways.
Nonetheless, a lot of people would just not take action because of all the risk.
No, for sure. And I mean, like, looking at it now, right? If I had to hop in this business, it's like, oh crap, what do I sell? Am I allowed to sell it? Does it actually sell? Is it profitable? What are the fees? Is it oversaturated, right? Because let's be real. Everybody and their mom that's an influencer online trying to teach business is trying to teach you how to sell on Amazon.
Yeah. A lot of them.
I don't blame them because it's the easiest plug and play business model. I had a student who lives here in Miami. His name is Bernardo. And he started recently. He started like 80 days ago or something like that.
Oh, wow.
In his first 63 days of starting this business, he did $100,000 in revenue. He's 20 years old.
It's crazy.
He's from Brazil. And this month alone, I did a testimonial video with him, I think last week. He was at 80 grand for the month already.
Wow. But it's not just about revenue. It's about profit,
not about
right?
revenue. But then again, too, like, I think it's a little bit more important. Like, now owning businesses, I'd rather run a smaller revenue operation with much higher profit margins. However, when you're starting in a business, I think the revenue number is exciting. I think it's important.
I agree.
I think it really is a direct indicator of whether or not you're doing things proper. Because think about it. How many of these big VC people or private equity people go in, buy all these companies that are doing all this money, but their, you know, SOPs and everything are completely trash.
Right.
And by them refining those things, they're able to just multiply the revenue, multiply the profit, cut the inefficiencies. And, you know, when you're starting out, I think the revenue is a little bit more important. But at the end of the day, you could sell $100 million of inventory. If you aren't profitable, you're not profitable.
Right.
So, yeah, no, he's killing it. And
so you're teaching people how to do this now as well?
Yes, but it's not that serious. I used to do a lot more one-on-ones and these kinds of things, but it's just not time efficient. Because let's say I wanted to teach you how to sell on Amazon, and we did a one-on-one or something like that. All of your problems become my problems for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
And I got a lot on my plate already.
Right.
So, you know, it's not a scalable thing. If you could charge someone 25, 50 bands for a one-on-one, then sure, why not? But anything less, it's really not worth it. So the only thing we do if someone wanted to get involved is we do like an online program and we do weekly live streams. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not that serious.
Yeah. So let's rewind a little bit, right? You were initially drop shipping. First you went to this guy's course.
Yeah.
15 and a half years old, which is nuts.
And,
how much did you pay for that, by the way?
It was $24.97. So
$2,500 bucks.
$2,500. I was 15 and a half. And before you guys try to talk shit and say it was parents' money, I worked construction on weekends and the summer, you know, going underground on the houses, working on foundation, hauling bags of debris on my back, doing demo, doing anything and everything. So I saved up that money through summers, through weekends. And I had to convince my mom to let me go because, let's be real, boomers, the most pessimistic people 100%. On the planet. 100%. Everything's a scam, nothing works, this, that, the other.
Yeah, very skeptical.
Super skeptical.
So you go to this course, you start drop shipping, then you eventually switch to the wholesale model, right? When you're about 17 years old, you said?
Correct.
Okay.
Or, no, 16.
16, sorry.
16. When
you're 16 years old, now you're 22. So we're 6 years after that.
That's crazy to think about. Like, let's be real. Time, once COVID hit, flew.
Flew, for sure.
Flew.
For sure. So what happened in between?
A whole lot, I could tell you.
Yeah,
ups, downs,
let's
everything
hear
in between.
About it.
So, okay, like I said, I built up the eBay storefront to about $65,000 a month in monthly revenue, which is great. However, it got to a point where my schedule was wake up 9 a.m., get to Starbucks at 10 a.m. I'd be from Starbucks from 10 to 10.
Did you drop out of high school?
So there was this thing, and shout out to the guy Bunt again. He's the guy who I bought the course from. He graduated early as well, so he could focus on jiu-jitsu because he was really good at jiu-jitsu.
Gotcha.
So there was this thing where you could, in California, there's no actual requirements to graduate. So I transferred to a private school. I wrote this essay. I took a test, and
nice. All right. I graduated early too, so I could relate to that.
So I did that, and I enrolled in community college. However, there was like a 6 to 8 month buffer before the next semester started. So I just had day in, day out just to focus on my business. And honestly, one thing I attribute the most to my success is starting early. You know, I bet you if I asked you, like, hey, for you to start your own firm, I bet you wish you started it earlier.
Yeah.
Anyone that's doing well, that's always the number one regret. I wish I started earlier. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I had this 8 month buffer where I was just focusing on my business, just focusing on eBay, just focusing on Amazon, and it blew up. It blew up. So I'm very, very happy with what happened there. But as I was mentioning, I did the eBay thing. My schedule was from 10 to 10 in Starbucks, listing products, SEO, fulfilling orders, everything in between. And then after that, I would go home, I would change, I would go to the gym, I would go to In-N-Out because that was the only place that would be open in my city at 1 a.m. I'd get home, start packing my orders from 1 a.m. till 5 a.m. in the morning.
Holy shit.
Then I would take all those orders to the UPS office, and the lobby is open. The counters where you could do transactions aren't. The lobby and the drop box is open. I go in there and I'm dropping all these items in there. I remember my mom texting me, where are you? What party are you at? What drugs are you doing? This, that, the other. I'm like, I'm at the post office. I'm printing right now.
Yeah.
And
where were you keeping the inventory at home?
In my bedroom. I have all the receipts.
That's nuts.
All the receipts.
That's nuts.
Insane. So I did that, and then I got to a point where it's like, man, this is a hustle. This is like from 9 a.m. in the morning till 5 in the morning. 4 hours of sleep. I'm telling you, for 6 to 8 months straight. Thank God I was young. I was able to like handle that. Now, no way. But it got to a point where it's like, I can't scale this business anymore. I can't create more hours in the day to pack my orders. I can't do this. I can't do that. And that's when I learned about Amazon. When I learned about Amazon FBA and that they store, pick, pack, and ship your products, handle customer service, returns, and everything in between, it was a no-brainer. I was saving majority of my workload. And with the eBay thing, you know, like I said, I was still doing wholesale, but I had so many listings. The thing with me is I rather list one product once and sell it 100 times rather than list 100 items and hope that one sells. And when I made that transition, everything changed. And it wasn't an instant change. There was about 6 months of just hitting my head against the wall, trying to figure it out. I'm like, where are these people buying these products? I originally was going to start my own brand. I ordered samples of this garden hose. Oh my God, it would have been terrible. Thank God I did not do that. But I guess you could say I got lucky. And obviously we create our own luck. I was in the right place at the right time. 100%. And I was networking with this guy who was also selling on eBay. And he introduced me to his cousin who ran a wholesale company. This guy had everything. Windex, Sharpies, big brands. And that was my way in. That was my way into the Amazon world. So we made the introduction. I remember he drove up north. He dropped off a SUV full of Sharpie markers in my bedroom. Just label, send it off to Amazon. 25 grand in revenue my first month on a new platform.
Wow.
And it required maybe 1/10 of the work. That's when it clicked for me. I was like, holy cow, I can make some serious money doing this.
All you had to do was buy the inventory and ship it to Amazon. They would do the rest?
That's it, because it's all about arbitration. Obviously, when you're in wholesale, the number one concern with everyone is this product sell? Is the product profitable?
Right.
The thing is, we have these softwares, we have all these tools that give us all the metrics we need to make an educated decision. You know, let's say this water bottle right here. I have a software that will tell me how many units sell per month. I have another software telling me how profitable is this item. I have another software telling me how many different people have sold this item in the past 10 years. I have access to metrics that most people overlook. And I've created a formula to, you know, make educated decisions and reduce the risk that is associated with putting your money up, buying inventory up front.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, you know, that's the cool thing about drop shipping. That's why it was interesting, right? You don't need to front any money. You just list items up. If it sells, then you fulfill. But there's no margins. So we have to go ahead and do something different to actually make it.
Right. And Amazon was that new thing.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not going to lie. It was a lot easier back then when I started.
Yeah.
Less competition, higher profits. But as I mentioned, there's people that are still killing, you know, 100 grand your first 63 days. I have another student, Tristan, who did like 300 bands his first 2 months.
And they're just buying products.
They're just buying and selling. It's all about
sending
arbitrating.
them to Amazon. Amazon's doing the work.
Exactly. But it's not like they're creating their own brands. It's all big brand stuff.
Yeah.
So these companies already spend millions of dollars on the marketing. All we need to focus on is buy low, sell high.
So how do you get access to buying Windex wholesale?
That's the $1 million question.
That's the hard part,
That's
right?
the $1 million question. So there's a few different like methods, I guess you could say, to finding potential products to sell on your Amazon store. The traditional method, which I use, is you usually identify a supplier, you get access to their catalog, and then from there you manually run through each one of their items. Search the item up on Amazon, make sure it's profitable, make sure it's selling, make sure it's not oversaturated, et cetera, et cetera. Then there's reverse product research, where let's say Toblerone, right? You would reach out to them and ask for a list of their authorized distributors. And then you would get in contact with them, fill out a wholesale application, and then they'll send you a catalog with products, pricing, availability, the whole nine. And then you just go ahead, run your product research or underwriting, and identify what actually is an opportunity that you could arbitrage.
And what are the average profit margins?
It really depends on what you're selling.
Would have been like your best products if you want to share.
There's so many. The thing about e-commerce, the number one biggest killer is shipping. Shipping is the number one fee. The highest, I wouldn't say highest ROI, but one of my favorite items that I always sold was Elgato HD capture cards. I bet you there's probably one in this room.
I don't even know what that is, to be honest.
It's something that connects like an HDMI to a USB.
Okay,
it's
gotcha.
yay big, maybe an ounce, and it sells for like $200-$300.
Oh, wow.
So your shipping's like $3-$4.
Okay.
And so on that item, I was cleaning shop, selling over 2,000 units a month. Insane. I've had items that have had 100-200% margins, but they sell 10 or 20 units a month. So I think it's very important when you're building your Amazon storefront to go ahead and have a healthy balance between fast-moving, low ROI products and high ROI slow movers. I will say an issue that I realized, though, because you're asking how do you get these wholesale accounts open? A lot of people take the relationships at face value. So let's say you wanted to get into the business, and I offered you this iPhone. Let's say it retails for $1,000. I offered it to you for $900. There's not really margin in that product, but iPhones fly off the shelf.
Right.
What a lot of people don't understand is you need your supplier more than they need you. If they have a well-selling and profitable product, you and how many other Amazon sellers want to go ahead and acquire that inventory.
Right.
So sometimes scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. You don't feel the need to negotiate or don't feel the need to produce a 25-30% return on investment off your first transaction. Get in the door, be on their good side, and then negotiate.
Right.
So, I've sold anything and everything. I've sold apparel. I mean, I haven't sold things like jewelry and whatnot, because some people do exploit Amazon's return, how easy it is to return items on Amazon. They'll buy like a $10,000 gold chain and return a fake chain.
Yeah.
So people do some crazy shit.
Yeah.
And that's one of the main reasons why I don't really sell electronics anymore. I don't know if you've ever seen, but on Amazon it'll show you who's selling it. Whenever you buy an electronic, usually in parentheses it says, "We record serial numbers," because there's so much fraud going on with people buying stuff, returning it empty. Like there was a time where someone bought a projector from me for like $4,000. They returned it with like used socks.
That's crazy. You took that loss?
And unfortunately, Amazon doesn't really have things that protect us sellers like that. And
they're all about the consumer.
Of course, but that's important. That's the reason why they have the trust and the 300 million individual customers.
Yeah.
So you can't blame them. You have to take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
You have instant play and plug access, or plug and play access, to 300 million individual customers.
Right.
You don't need to spend money on ads or do this or do that. So take the good with the bad.
Yeah. And when did you realize oh shit, I'm onto something?
It's weird because when I started for, the exotic cars, the private jets. I wanted that lifestyle, but I never really had an actual number in mind. I thought if I made $1 million a year, I would be balling.
Yeah.
That barely covers overhead now. So I think my oh shit moment was when I saw $1,900 in my first 9 days with eBay.
Gotcha.
I was like, this is what I want to focus on.
Yeah.
I made $1,900 a week. That's what some of my teachers make in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'd say that. However, I would say the big turning moment for me, I bought 2 pallets of shampoo and conditioner from this brand called Purador. I bought it from a wholesaler in Los Angeles. I had it shipped up to San Francisco, prepped all of it on my side yard. It was like a $40,000 order. I'm like, holy cow, I'm buying $40,000 of inventory. That was in 2018.
Gotcha.
So 2018 was like, that's
how
when
much
stuff
money
turned
you
around.
think you made off that order?
Nothing crazy, because I didn't have the negotiating power that I have now. Right?
Gotcha.
I was buying a $40,000 order, not a $400,000 order.
Now you're putting $400,000 orders in?
I mean, I've had individual orders, yeah, 300K, 500K. I've sent $1 million in a day. I've gotten deposits of $1 million in a day.
Where do you process all of it?
Wire in, wire out. It was all cash. There was also a pretty sick platform. I don't use them anymore. I don't know why they got acquired. Now they have all these different regulations and this, that, the other. But there was this platform called Plastic. I'm not sure if you ever heard about it. It allows you to liquidify your credit cards without running it as a cash advance.
Gotcha.
So you would obviously pay a fee on it, but let's say you wanted to put $100,000 on your Amex. It would arrive to me in a wire. So I think you wired me. So that was a pretty cool platform. I would run $400,000+ a month on my Amex.
And you're getting your points too.
Amex Plum didn't have a point system, but if I paid it off, because the whole benefit of the Amex Plum was you could defer your balance for 30 days.
Gotcha.
Pay 10% of it, no fees.
Gotcha.
Which was cool for cash flow because in Amazon, they pay you out bi-weekly, or not bi-weekly, every 2 weeks. So it was cool for me because like if I had a bunch of cash tied up, I could just go ahead and defer it and I'll be fine. But if you did pay it off on time, 1.5% cash back, unlimited.
Wow, that's awesome.
And I've ran up a couple $1 million on that card.
That's crazy. And would you send from the wholesalers directly to Amazon? Or no, it has to stop in your warehouse first?
Because a lot of my vendors, what you realize when you're working direct or with really big players, if they're going to go through the hassle of prepping it for Amazon, because Amazon has product prep requirements. If you wanted to sell a liquid over, I forgot what the actual number is, 8 ounces or 12 ounces, it needs to be in a poly bag. Which is basically like a Ziploc bag or something like that, so that if it breaks or contaminates, it won't ruin the rest of the shipment. So the biggest thing for me was quality control, and also I was buying products from these suppliers that don't prep or send to Amazon. They're like, hey, if we're going to go through the trouble of labeling your items, prepping your items, doing this, that, the other, why don't we just send it into Amazon ourselves and make the full direct-to-consumer margin, not the business-to-business margin?
Of course.
So, you have to go ahead and understand that. And it's fine. That was one reason. The second reason was quality control. Because if you never see the products, touch the products, and a lot of people run their business 6 figures a month like that. It only takes one mess up, on your vendor side for your whole business to have a bunch of issues. Like,
What, will Amazon flag you?
Yeah, so let's say the water, right? The water example. Let's say your supplier sent it directly into Amazon and it was expired. You wouldn't have known. He told you the expiration was whatever date.
Right.
And now that's your problem,
Yeah.
regardless of if your supplier duped you. And I've ran into those issues. I've lost multiple millions of dollars cash. I've had to wire out and bail myself out to keep my reputation intact because, I've gotten caught in the middle of some ugly shit before. So, I'm sure you probably see the front end of all of this kind of stuff. So
Yeah, without a doubt. And so you have a big team in a warehouse handling all that?
So we've downsized a lot because, like I said, my California operation alone, my burn rate was like $150,000 a month.
That was your overhead?
It was $100K it was like 90 something K every month for payroll.
Wow.
And then it was like 16,444 plus another 13,000 something plus another 7,000. And those are like warehouses and offices just in the greater Los Angeles area.
Wow.
And it's cool when you're doing $4 or $5 million a month. The burn rate of $150K is nothing.
Yeah.
But if you're not doing that every month and you're doing $1 million, shit could change real quick.
Yeah.
And that's something I definitely wish I would have, changed or reacted a little bit quicker to. Cutting fat. When you realize something isn't going as it was, cut fat quick. Any unneeded expenses, just cut fat.
Yeah. And how many employees did you have at your highest?
I couldn't tell you, maybe 20. Nothing crazy.
20, but you're 20 years old at the time when you have 20 employees, right?
Yeah, this was in California. We closed the California warehouse in 2023. This was August 2023, and then we just doubled down on Miami.
Yeah.
We're like, man, the logistics between sending it from California to Florida and this, that, the other, it didn't make any sense. We were spending almost as much on logistics as a warehouse payment here. So we're like, screw it, let's double down here and let's run it.
Yeah. And how is it managing 20 employees at your age?
To be honest, I didn't do the majority of it. Whenever someone needed to be fired, I'd dish off that task to someone else. I'm not the best with confrontation.
Gotcha.
So I definitely delegated a lot of that.
That's an honest answer.
And in California, the labor laws and this, that, the other are out of this world.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just had my COO. Hey, he was on the phone with the, you know, the labor law attorneys, and, you know, everyone had their own particular place. I had people managing the Amazon storefronts. I had people in the warehouse physically prepping. I had a warehouse manager. I had an office manager. I had everything in between, a COO, financial controller, everything. And all I was focusing on was, one, acquiring deals, and two, making sure that people knew about the company.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a really, really sick run. Like I said, we had some losses, like some very significant losses that most people would have filed bankruptcy.
What was your biggest one?
My biggest loss? I mean, I've lost a bunch of money. You ever hear of the FX WinPro thing? It's like Trader's Domain.
No.
Oh, so you haven't heard of these people promoting like a bot trader?
Oh, yes,
like
I have.
Forex automation. Yes. So I invested with someone I know here in Miami. I'm not going to name drop. Over $1 million in my liquid Ponzi.
Damn. Oh, that sucks. $1 million.
$1 million. Liquid cash.
Down
this
the
is my
drain.
money. This is cash. This isn't credit. This isn't nothing. This is cash.
Damn.
Wired.
Damn. But in business, what about in your Amazon business? What was some of your biggest sales?
Man, dude, in 2023, I couldn't tell you. It has to be somewhere between $5 and $10 million.
Really? Holy shit. That's crazy. That's
insane.
Crazy.
Insane.
And you were naming like a lot of positions, right? Like COO, chief financial officer, whatever it was. Where'd you get this business sense from? Was it from experience? Were you reading a lot of books? Were you surrounding yourself with other entrepreneurs?
I think honestly, I couldn't tell you. Like, we have a family business. We have a construction company, which was not doing well for the longest time.
Okay.
Now we're maybe doing $2-3 million a year in annual revenue, which
nice.
In that kind of business isn't that much between materials and labor.
Yeah.
But it was cool. Business sense, I think you just kind of pick it up day by day.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of just sit down, figure it out, and hustle it out. Now you guys got ChatGPT and everything else to create a business plan or figure out what should the org chart be of this company or this, that, the other. But yeah, I couldn't tell you. I just, you know, wherever I saw the bottlenecks in the company, I'm like, we need to figure this out.
Right.
If we have orders that are 4 weeks old, we have not dispatched, unacceptable. We need more labor
right.
force. If, you know, we have tons of inventory and we don't have enough clients, we need more salespeople.
Yeah.
So, you know, just identifying the bottlenecks in the business and then, you know, handling that is how I did it. But there was a moment in time where I wore every single hat in my business. I did the accounting. I did the reconciliations.
Yeah.
I sent the demand letters. I've done everything in between.
Yeah.
So I had a good sense of what was needed. But looking back, though, I'm surprised that I built that company up to multiple 8 figures in annual revenue with how laid back it was ran. Like, looking back now, it's like, holy cow. What was I doing? Where were the SOPs? Where was this? Where was that?
Yeah.
Ignorance is bliss.
100%. What was your highest revenue year?
I could show you a copy of my tax return.
If you want to. I don't know if I would ever do that, but
I don't know if I'll do it for the camera, but you'll be able to, if I could find it. Hold on. I sent it to everyone's buying Bugattis right now.
It's crazy. Everyone's buying Bugattis.
So I was talking to someone about exploring that, right? It's not that's not something I'm super fond of, but okay, here. And obviously, you know how we like to play with taxes, right?
Yeah.
Legally.
Correct. Take advantage of the tax code.
Dude, I posted like a screenshot of not even that year, but 2021. I posted a screenshot of that, and everyone's like, I could download it from Adobe and edit the numbers as well.
Wow, that's crazy.
So I'll say the numbers for the camera. Fuck it. In 2020, I did about a little bit over $3 million in revenue with my main company. 2021, I did 14 million. 2023, I did 50 plus. And I own 100% of the company. There were, you know, yes, I had a credit card eventually that I built up through the business, but like, there wasn't institutional investors or anything crazy. So, yeah, I mean, it was cool.
That's nuts. Yeah, that's crazy. That's a lot of money, and that's a lot of just money moving.
Oh my God, you have no idea. I'm telling you, there would be $1 million a day. I mean, that's practically $1 million a day.
Yeah.
Or $1 million a week.
A week.
That would,
a day would be great.
Yeah.
A day would be great.
Forget about it.
What's the most that you've made, like, personally in your pocket after expenses, after everything, if you're comfortable sharing that? You don't have to say it.
I have to be careful. I would say multiple 7 figures.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of business expenses in there.
Yeah, a lot. What are some of your best purchases? Personal.
I mean, I'm a car guy.
You're a car guy too?
I've had virtually any car that's not a hypercar, from McLarens to Lamborghinis to Ferraris. I think there was a year where I bought like 10 or 12 cars in 1 year.
Holy shit.
I bought 4 or 5 in 1 month.
What was your favorite?
To drive or that I owned?
Either.
Favorite car that I've owned aesthetically was my Aventador SV. Favorite car to drive was my 650S. That was my first car that I bought with my own money. 650S, the car feels like a go-kart. I bought it when I was 17, $50,000 down, like $2,700.
You bought it when you were 17?
I paid my friend $5,000 to sign for it.
Holy shit. 17 driving a McLaren.
Yeah.
And you didn't come from money.
No way on God's green earth. My mom started at Burger King. She got a sales rep job at a cosmetics company. And then eventually she decided to like hop into the construction thing.
That's crazy.
You know, yeah, not a nail to scratch my ass.
What's the most expensive car you bought?
I would say, and I'm not proud of this, my Maserati MC20.
Jeez.
I got wrecked on that car. I bought it from Eurocar in like March of 2022.
Eurocar in Fort Lauderdale?
Eurocar in Orange County, California.
Oh, okay.
I bought it for $385,000. That car sold at auction this year for $157,000.
Damn.
I had a deficiency balance to the bank of like 120 bands.
Damn.
I put $100,000 down on that car. I was paying $5,000 a month for like 18 months. I got wrecked, bro.
That's crazy. You had an SV as well?
I had an Aventador SV, but I bought it before COVID. Or I bought it in COVID, beginning of COVID, when everything was down. I paid $370,000 for it.
Damn.
And they were going over $500,000. I saw the same car, 10,000 miles more, going for over $500,000.
Wow. You got a steal on that.
I did.
You don't have it anymore? You
No.
liquidated all your cars?
The thing is, not all of them, but like I still have my title to like 720S. I have 2 911s. I have the Cullinan, which is like, you know, I'm renting out or subletting to someone.
Nice.
So yeah, like I still have some, but
yeah,
it's not that deep. When you have all that, it's like, where am I going to go from here? I'm going to spend $2 million on a Pagani or 3 on a Bugatti.
Yeah. That's one thing that people don't really understand is when you buy these cars so young,
dude,
it kind of messes with you, right? Like you experience so much. You're 22 years old. I mean, I'm 28. I feel like I'm young, but you're 6 years younger than me. Like when I was your age, I just graduated law school. So
I mean, that's still a big feat.
Yeah, for sure. But you know, it's all about putting in the work. Yeah. As you know.
But I mean, it's just you got to look at like when we started, right? You can't compare someone's chapter 13 to your chapter 1.
100%.
If you're just graduating law school and you're in all this debt or this, that, the other, and I've had 6 years of just after it, obviously it's going to be completely different.
100%. So do you see yourself buying a Bugatti or no?
Yo, Alex, you're fucking with my head, bro. Do you know who Alex is?
I know of him. I've never met him. We have a lot of mutual friends.
Man.
I'd like to get him on the pod if you know him. That'd be dope.
We'll see what we could do.
Yeah.
But no, Alex is dog. I don't know, man, because like I've made all this money. I've had good years. I've had bad years. And what I realized is owning these cars, like from a financial standpoint, if you're actually someone who's like looking at your financials, doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
It does not make any sense whatsoever. But I like cars.
Right.
So I'm going to.
And I literally had this conversation with someone yesterday. This girl reached out to me. She's like, I want to get an exotic, but my CPA told me I shouldn't spend this much. I'm like, your CPA doesn't understand the value of a car when you're a car person.
There's other things that will add value, right? Like the networking. Like when I had my 650S, I had my Instagram on the side. And
100%.
I've had, tons of clients hit me up because of that.
Yeah.
And I've made probably more than what the car's worth off of it.
Right.
But that shouldn't be your excuse to buy it. If you can't afford it to start with, don't buy it and hope that you're going to make the money from having that car.
Of course. Yeah.
Because you have to learn, like the nice shit's cool. Like I said, I've had 10 cars in my driveway. I've had 1 car in my driveway. It's cool, but you have to be comfortable without it. And once you have that freedom from the materialistic shit, you just play with a whole different ballgame. And something that really changed for me is when I had a daughter. So I'm 22. My daughter turns 2 next month.
Wow. Congrats.
Thank you. And when you have kids and a lot of other people depending on you, your risk tolerance and everything in between is completely different.
Without a doubt.
Beforehand, I knew that if everything blew up in my face, I'm 22 years old, I could start again. I don't mind eating top ramen every day, sleeping on a mattress on the floor. I'm cool with that. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're allowed to swear here.
Yeah, you can curse. You can say whatever you want.
But yeah, like I don't want that for my daughter.
Right.
Or for my wife.
Right.
Whatsoever. And they have standards that need to be met. And yeah, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. I wouldn't feel like a man.
Yeah, without a doubt. How old were you when you met your wife?
19.
You were 19.
I was 19 when I met her.
That's nuts.
We got married when I turned 21.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, that's young too. You just do everything early on.
I mean, look, you know,
Early on.
22, kid, business, cars, everything
great.
in between.
It's great.
I'm trying to think what I'm going to do when I'm 60.
Yeah. Do you know any other people that are 22 in your position? Like, are you friends with anyone that's your age?
No.
No, right?
Like, youngest, 28, 29.
Yeah.
My wife's 34.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
So, yeah, I mean, I've always been like that. I've always, like, you know, I was that guy, 15, 16-year-old in the room with all these people making all this money.
Yeah.
That were 25, 30. Right. So, you know, just surrounding myself with those people. You're a direct product of your environment.
100%.
So,
without a doubt.
You know,
what do you think motivated you so early in life?
Originally, it was the shit I couldn't have. It was the cars, because I remember I started working construction because I was saving up to buy my first car.
Gotcha.
And I was looking at like Mazda Miatas and this, that, the other. And I remember this explicit moment. It was, I don't know the year, maybe 2016, 2017. Because while I was still selling on eBay, sometimes I would still work construction to get more capital to put into the business.
Of course.
And I remember I was in Oakland. I was hauling bags of like drywall and 2x4s in this, you know, trash bag on my back. And I remember looking at my watch. I'm like, holy cow, I've only been here for like 20 minutes. No matter how hard I work, no matter what I do, my compensation is not going to change, whether I put 20% effort or 100%. So why am I going to work any harder? And that's when I realized, like, there's no way I'm going to live the lifestyle that I want to live doing this.
Yeah.
And so that's when I started looking, and I knew there had to be a better way. And I've done little side hustles before, right? Like buy plain Hanes t-shirts from Target, go to, I think the store was called Michael's, and you get these pieces of paper that you could print on that you iron onto the t-shirt to make a design.
Yeah.
I was doing stuff like that when I was in like 7th, 8th grade. But nothing serious. Like if I did $100 in revenue, that was killer for me.
Yeah, of course.
So
and are you still friends with some of the kids that you grew up with?
I wouldn't say so. Like there was a good amount that took my program and they started making serious money, like 6-7 figures a year. But no, I was always that kid that everyone knew, and I kind of knew everyone, but I didn't fit in anywhere.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I was only in high school for freshman year and then part of sophomore year, like one semester of sophomore year. So, you know, you have to be willing to sacrifice what you are for what you will become.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And so I knew that in the current position I was in, this doesn't lead to anywhere. And I was willing to, you know, give up all the friends, give up the sports, give up everything that I knew to lead a better life.
Yeah. And you mentioned your program a couple times. When did that come about? So
I didn't even have a course when I started. I only did one-on-ones for $2,500. That was the biggest, that probably could have been the best investment for anyone looking to get into Amazon at the time. $2,500, full one-on-one training. I'd help you source your first items. Honestly, it wasn't even one-on-one training. I was doing everything for them. I would train them, and then I would do it, literally. Give me your login to your storefront. I'd log in, I'd create the shipment plan, I'd tell them the products to buy, basically just running my own storefronts.
Did you have a percentage of their storefronts?
No, nothing. But it was just, I was 17, I didn't know any better. I was just biting off more than I could chew, just trying to deliver results. And I started teaching in 2018, which I probably wasn't super qualified to teach. I made money, but it wasn't like a full-blown business, employees, everything. But the methods worked. It was simple. It was just buy low, sell high. So it was something anyone could do from anywhere. I had people from all walks of life. I've had emergency room surgeons, text me, wow, this is crazy. It's 8 a.m. I'm $35 away from my daily takeaway. I'm like, wow. So, it's been since 2018, and I will say I've definitely learned a lot and been able to refine my teachings by being the teacher. Because sometimes they'll ask a question like, oh, I never thought of that. Mm-hmm. You're actually right. And then everything changes.
Yeah. And that's still going on, that course? Or
so
no?
I have one-on-one client that I do at a time right now just because, like I said, all their problems become my problems.
Yeah. What do you charge for that?
It's like multiple 5 figures.
Really?
But like if I could get you to $100,000 a month in 60 to 90 days,
yeah, that's
not guaranteed, by the way. No business opportunity.
Yeah.
You guys can lose all your money, everything between the disclaimer.
Yeah.
So right now, if they wanted to do something, we basically have this program where you could enroll. It's 10 hours of digital content, walking you through everything from A to Z, how to set up your corporation, pull EINs, sales and use tax permits, set up your website, everything, to reaching out to vendors, how to underwrite deals, how to handle logistics, everything. And we also host weekly calls once a week where students send in their products for us to review. They and they just ask questions, or we choose a different topic every week. Like if someone's having issues with shipment plans, how do I minimize my inbound shipment cost to Amazon? Because with FBA, stands for Fulfilled by Amazon. Amazon needs to store your products in their fulfillment center to actually fulfill on the orders. So, there's different tips and tricks to get that inbound cost down because it gets expensive. One of my buddies saved like $800,000 this year using a software to eliminate placement fees. And that goes straight to his bottom line. Those are fees that would have been paid to Amazon anyways.
Right.
So, sometimes learning these little tips and tricks, regardless of what you're investing in the knowledge, pays tenfold.
Right. And I've seen like a lot of people, or they've actually used to reach out to me like, hey, start your own Amazon store for like 25 or 50 grand, whatever it is. Did you ever do that for people?
I did a done for you option. And it was great. I've had clients that have had multiple 7 figures deposited into their bank account from Amazon.
Really?
But you remember when I told you I lost like in between $5 to $10 million?
Yeah.
So there was this like, I guess you would say theory that Amazon did not track the IP that you logged in from if you used the user permission account. So that's how we were running our storefront. We had our office in Irvine, and I had all my employees, and they would use the same device to log into all the different storefronts. But because we weren't using the main login, we were using, a fake email, or not a fake email, but like a extra random Gmail to access the account. They actually track those. And if one account gets suspended, Amazon has a thing where if they think you're linked to another account that's suspended, domino effect.
Holy shit.
I had 70 clients that got their stores shut down.
Oh.
That paid 25 to 50 bands to get in. Thank God, like I said, I've lost millions of dollars. I had to pay up the behind to save my name and everything in between. And
wow.
It's crazy. So it's a double-edged sword. As quickly as you could scale a business is just as quickly as you could fall.
Yeah.
So...
And I've also heard of like Amazon not releasing the funds.
That's insane to me. That's really insane to me. If they think you're doing something crazy, that usually happens. They usually will try to hold your funds unless you request. You have to request a formal disbursement. So you have to like submit a letter to them after 90 days of your account being deactivated. If you can't reactivate it by submitting whatever, your supply chain documentation or your business license, whatever they're asking for,
yeah, you
can request for disbursement of your funds. But they also could deny it.
They could just hold your money. Has that ever happened to you?
Oh, yeah. Amazon's probably... I don't mean to scare everyone on here. Amazon's definitely brought 10 times more great value of good things than bad things. But yeah, for sure. I've had Amazon like lock up accounts that have had $250,000 in cash ready to be deposited, never deposited to me. And the main unfortunate thing, this is the one real con with selling on Amazon. It's not like America. If they suspect anything, it's guilty until proven innocent.
Right.
So you really need to make sure your systems and everything are dialed and you're doing everything proper from the get-go because, you could have bought some item from some products from a flea market that you don't have proper supply chain documentation from to show the authenticity or where it came from or this, that, the other. You could have sold that 9 months ago. And someone complained saying you had an inauthentic product. And you could only have products that you bought directly from the brand in your storefront at that moment in time. They could still suspend your storefront.
Damn.
Insane.
Yeah, a lot of
but
risk.
that's the liability working with any third-party platform.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you probably process payments. Payment processors could shut you down, hold your funds.
Right.
PayPal, eBay, Amazon, bank accounts.
Yeah.
Everything. So, if you're doing business with these third parties, you have to take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
I could say, I lost $250,000, but I've also had, $70+ million come back to us, in a single year. So.
Right. That's crazy. How do you feel when you see those numbers? 50, 60, 70, $80 million in revenue.
I guess you would say I got a little numb to it because of how much we were scaling. It was almost expected, right?
Right.
Because 3 million to 14 to 52. I remember when I was sending documents and I couldn't even get approved for an SBA loan doing these kinds of numbers. I remember sending in my docs and they're like, holy cow, I've never seen a business scale like this. And I guess I got kind of numb. Like in 2023, we didn't even do 50 million. We probably did like between 10 and 20. Had a really big drop off because I had that loss. I didn't have as much cash to play with and everything in between. Had to keep my people fed and it was a whole nightmare. And we're still doing like 10 to 15 million dollars a year. However, it was expected. I expected in 2023 to break $100 million. And that was the thing. I had an offer for over 8 figures to buy the company in, October or November. December is when all the storefronts got shut down. And I declined the offer because I was waiting for that 2022 tax return to just give it that little extra oomph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. And also, as you said, most of your stuff is you're selling big name products, right? A lot of what I've seen online, obviously I'm not, very big in this space, but I've seen some people come up with their own products.
Yeah,
and
private label.
Yeah, private label, do big numbers on those.
I've done that before.
You've done that too?
I've made like 6 figures, but like I wouldn't say I'm a professional on it. I have friends that have made like they build a company, they exit for 7 figures, they wait until their non-compete expires and they build another one, do the same thing.
Yeah.
And that I would say is honestly the great thing, but it's not what beginners should focus on because it's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
You have to create your product, you have to register barcodes, you have to do the logo, you have to package design, you have to run ads, SEO, marketing, create the listing, and everything in between, all for just a bet that it's actually going to work out.
Yeah.
With selling big name brands, like these people already spend millions of dollars on marketing. Yeah. You just plug and play. You buy low, sell high. So if you're a beginner and you want to focus on cash flow and building up capital, I would say focus on wholesale and distribution, resell big brand name items. However, if you're doing private label, you need to have cash and you need to have patience.
Right.
That project will not take off for 3 to 6 months if you're actually doing something quality.
Yeah. And now you still operate your warehouse in Miami, and you're doing the FBA out of Miami. Nice. And you're the sole owner. You have any partners?
No. So I have. Okay. There was a moment in time in 2021 where I was doing franchises. So we opened up a warehouse in New Jersey, one in Texas, and that was not it. Franchising is a great opportunity if you really have bulletproof systems, but like I said, I was surprised we got to $50 million a year with what we were doing.
Yeah.
And quality control. Your reputation could take a very big hit if you're letting people use your brand, your name, and they're not fulfilling on the same promises that you could fulfill on.
Yeah.
So, we shut down a bunch of warehouses and just doubled down on Miami. But I'd say the best places to open up a warehouse are where the 4 biggest ports are: San Francisco, Los Angeles, New Jersey / New York, and Florida. Gotcha.
And are you getting a lot of stuff from China or no?
Zero from
China.
All my unless it's my private label, which I built like a computer monitor brand.
Oh, nice.
Everything.
How's that going?
It's it's not like something I'm gonna hold my breath on, but like if we do 20, 30 grand a month in revenue, it's nothing crazy, but that's numbers for some people.
Yeah.
So it's not my main thing, but I'm not that creative. I'm not gonna revolutionize an industry and build the next what was that brand that blew up on Shark Tank, the sponge one?
Scrub Daddy.
Scrub Daddy.
I'm
not that kind of guy. So
and that's good. You know what you know, and you know what you don't know.
Have you ever taken the 16 personality test?
No.
You should definitely take it. It tells you a lot about yourself. It gives you it tells you what type of personality are you? Whether you're like an entrepreneur, you're a manager, you're an architect. I'm a manager. I've tried so many times to take that test and get the result of entrepreneur. Yeah. But if you really sit down and just take your time, answer the questions honestly, every single time it tells me I'm a manager.
What is it called? The 16 personality?
16 personality test.
All right, I'm going to check it out.
It's also a great thing. I make all my employees do it as well, so I kind of learn a little bit more about them.
Yeah. I do the DISC assessment for some of my employees.
I have no clue what that is.
I don't know. It's through Grant Cardone, his Cardone. But that's how I do it. But it's a known test. Okay. Whereas grades them A, B, C, D, and different. Or sorry, no, it's DISC, DISC. And then depending on what they rank on each one,
we'll give an overall score.
Correct. And what position they'd be best for.
Yeah.
For
me, I'd say the number one trick for me to hiring was always having someone shadow me. So the way I usually did it, unless I was hiring specifically for that position, which most of the time I didn't know. I just see okay, where are we lacking in work?
Right.
I would hire an assistant. Assistant follow me around all day. They would learn all parts of the business because they're just always in my stuff.
Yeah.
And then from there, I figure out where they excel at. Oh, you're good at, negotiating deals. Oh, you're good at managing inventory. You're good at this. And that's where I would assign them.
Nice. I love it. And what do you think led to you scaling from, you say 13?
It was 3 million in 2020, 14 million 2021, and 51, 52?
What do you think attributed to that 13 to 52? Because that's like a 4X almost.
It's insane, huh?
Yeah.
A lot of things, getting a bigger warehouse, having more cash to play with. Because like I said, it's a cash-heavy business. If I was doing $5 million in revenue, I had to be spending at least $4 million on inventory.
Wow.
So it was very cash-intensive, but just moving quick. Just, one deal's closed, the next one. And I think another thing that really contributed was my personal brand. You know, I was able to get people that wanted to partner with me on these storefronts because they saw the warehouse, they saw the operations, they saw the lifestyle, and that was great. Cool. I have silent partners investing in storefronts that I'm able to manage. And it also helps me mitigate risk because, you know, if you have one storefront get shut down, you have all your cash in it, Amazon doesn't want to deposit it, it could be a nightmare.
Right.
And I would say the social media, because it just brought so much attention for me to bring clients or have people, oh, I sell on Amazon. What do you have for sale? And I just had like over 700 loyal buyers. If I sent something in, there was like we had a channel that we blasted it out to our like 700 plus. I think there was more, probably like double that actually. But let's say like 1,000 buyers. It would sell in seconds.
Wow.
In seconds. If I wanted to sell, I don't know, that water, that sparkling water right there, I would send it in the group chat within 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Hey, I'm interested. Here's my company name. Here's my address. Here's my email. This is how many units I want. This is the price I'm offering you guys. And then we just hash out the details. Like, you know, counter them or close it, depending on where we're at with cash flow. But that, just moving quick, you know. And right as I bought it, it was basically sold.
That's great. And you spoke about building your personal brand. When did you start that?
That when I started doing the training. I mean, I started documenting my journey from day one. Like while I was still in high school, drop shipping. Man, some of those videos, super cringe.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was just
Are they still on your
everything.
profile or no?
They're in my archive, but I could definitely like throw up like what's it called? A highlight?
Yeah.
With all those receipts. And it's cool. It was really cool that I was able to document it because it really, like, if you really like take a step back and really look at how far you came, it's really crazy.
Yeah.
Really crazy. And most of the time we get so caught up with what we don't have and what we're trying to accomplish that you don't take a step back and really appreciate what you've actually done this past half a decade.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So that was, so I have like 150 grand stuck in that app right now. I was building an education platform that was going to focus on monthly reoccurring.
Okay.
It was called Stat Club. I'm going to probably finish it and just sell it. I don't want to deal with it anymore. We're essentially getting held hostage by the devs.
Gotcha.
Because, you know, the devs build everything, but if they pass it over to you and you don't have a Bible to know exactly what the code is for, you have nothing.
Right.
And then they started requesting extra money and this, that, the other. Oh, you need these features, you need this. And I was like, I'm not going to play this game. And so I just didn't pay them, and it's just been at a standstill. But I'm probably going to finish that project, just try to pull my liquidity out. It was going to be a platform where I was going to treat it like school. It was called Stat Club. It stands for School That Actually Teaches.
Nice.
And it was going to be a 52-week program of Amazon FBA. Every single week, a new topic of where you should be building your business. And it was going to be live with me every single week. So I knew it was going to be such a killer because let's say I was charging $97 a month, right? Monthly reoccurring. With that kind of thing, it's straight profit. The exit multiple on something like that's ridiculous. And it wasn't just going to be me, because obviously if it's just your personal brand, you can't really sell it. That's you. But I was going to onboard other professionals, a Shopify person, someone for taxes, someone, you know, legal counsel, everything in between. Yeah. And we just never got to launch. So I'm going to recommend you guys to if you plan on getting into like software service-based business, like do a beta or like sell it before you actually build it, because you don't want to be like me and be 150 grand in and be at a dead end. Spent $7 grand on the Instagram handle. I don't know, another 10 grand on the domain and everything in between. So, wow. Yeah, I mean, that's my fault. But also I was making so much money elsewhere that's where my focus had to be. Right. And I delegated a lot of the company. I left a lot of the responsibility. I gave someone 50% equity in this company to go ahead and manage it and do everything. But they also had a lot on their plate. So nothing was getting done. Yeah. Well, you live and you learn, right? Not everything's going to be a win. You got to take those risks. Take them on because if you didn't take that $2,500 risk when you were 15 and a half years old, be a brokey. Yeah, you wouldn't be here right now. I'd be in college right now. Yeah, you'd be in college. And you don't come from a rich family, right? So like, how does your mom, like, how does she react to, you know, you making all this money? She likes it. She's proud. Of course. Of course. I mean, and I've done my fair share for her, so she's definitely reaped the fruits of the labor as well. But she's proud. She's seen me in my highs. She's seen me in my lows. At the end of the day, I'm still her son. Right. So I think that comes first before anything else. And she's proud. She likes saying, that's my child. Yeah, of course. I can imagine. That's awesome, man. That's a huge win for you, right? Oh, and for her. Great win. It's a win-win. That's awesome. And what do you think is next for you? Are you going to
doubled down on teaching others how to do it?
So that is like a part focus, because like service-based businesses, the margins are just too good not to do.
Great.
You're talking 75, 80%.
Right.
So, I'm going to continue to do that. I don't spend more than, I don't know, 5 hours a week maybe, between recording videos.
Nice.
Between live stream and between my one-on-one. So it's very light on my end. The main thing I'm focusing on is wholesale and distribution still. So I still, I do mainly business-to-business transactions. We have a lot of like exclusive with big brands, like Waterpick and these kinds of companies to export their products. So as I mentioned, I've been living in Brazil for the past few months.
I was going to ask you about that.
And we opened a warehouse there.
Okay.
But we already have direct like agreements with brands there, and a lot of the products in Brazil. And I'm probably gonna want to cut my tongue off after this for all you guys that are probably gonna try to hop in this. But I'm exporting products from Brazil to the States right now, and the margins are insane. There's like no competition on these products. There's products that sell 5,000 to 10,000 units a month, and I'm getting them for pennies on the dollar.
Wow.
And it's insane. We're also trying to export to Brazil, but their import tariffs are like over 100%. And obviously people make less money there. So it's a very hard, happy medium to find.
Yeah. And you have a badass spot in Brazil, right on the
sick,
water.
Bro. It's like 8,000 square foot, 2 floors, right on the beach.
Wow. Do you own that or you rent it?
Seller finance.
Nice. What does a spot like that cost in Brazil?
US, like I think it was like somewhere a little bit over 3. But it was when I got it though, old. They didn't open it up for a showing for like 2 years.
Really?
Cobwebs, cockroaches, the doors, the walls, the flooring, you could tell are 50 years old. Like majority of the buildings there are very, very old. And I had to put a lot of money into it, rip out walls and doors and oh my God, everything in between. Yeah. And it's been a headache. But the great thing about it is, for my wife, it's a sense of peace of mind, right? They have the house and this, that, the other. It's theirs. Great. However, I did it as an investment because in Brazil, to renovate anything and everything inside the house, break walls, do anything, you don't need any permits.
Nice.
So the turnover time's like that.
Quick.
And obviously, I don't plan to live there for only 3-4 months. I've already been there for about, 8. Still, just knowing that, boom, that instant return is there.
Of course.
So, and the cost of labor too out there is so cheap.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, like I'm paying professional construction people like $55 a day.
Wow, that's nothing.
Nothing.
Wow. Nothing. How do you feel living in Brazil? Do you feel safe?
So that's like a common misconception. Everyone's like, oh, it's Brazil, favelas, you're going to get murdered and robbed and this, that, the other. So long as you're not like asking for attention and walking around with bust down watches and this, that, the other, you're fine. I'll walk down the street with my phone in my hand. And, there's a lot of great things I really enjoy about Brazil that you can't get here, and then vice versa, right?
Right.
Like, for example, if I wanted a baby car, let's say an AMG GLE 63. That car probably costs 120 grand here. There it's over 300.
Damn.
Because the import tariff. So imported products are so expensive. So any electronics you buy, anything you're paying top dollar.
Right.
But, services, restaurants, all those kinds of things, super cheap. I could feed 6 people at a decent restaurant for like $120. Cheap. But the main reason why we moved there, 1, was for my business. But 2, it was for the peace of mind. Her family's from Brazil.
Okay.
In the States, family is kind of cold. I love my family, but traditionally, they raise you. You're 18. You move out. You go to school. You raise your own family. That's that. Yeah. When you're with Latins or other people, everybody's together always. It's a lot more affectionate and everything in between. Yeah. And my wife was here in the U.S. without seeing her family for like 4 years.
Oh wow.
So them being close to her, my child, and I have a full-time chef that would be working at like a Michelin restaurant here. I have 3 in-house maids. I have 2 full-time nannies. I have literally all of this help to give my wife the peace of mind, knowing that she's emotionally taken care of and she has all the help she needs. Yeah. So I just wake up, I'm on the computer 24/7, and I'm just working.
Nice.
And that's
what do you pay for that house? What do you pay for that house staff? Sorry to cut you off.
It's not as bad as you would think.
I'm assuming it's relatively cheap.
It is, but it's not. I couldn't tell you, man. My wife, I just send her the transfer, and she pays all these people individually. So I couldn't tell you, but it's definitely not anywhere near, because like I had a full-time nanny that lived with me here in Edgewater, and I was paying $4,500 a month. and they took up a room in my place, which I was spending like 20 plus grand a month. So that's another fucking
shit.
$5,000. So whole different world.
Yeah.
So I think it's somewhere around there, like 10 grand or less.
Nice.
Nothing for that kind of help, that kind of peace of mind.
Yeah, I mean, you have a full staff.
Exactly.
Essentially. Do you drive a car in Brazil or no? I mean, obviously you do, but
yeah, but it's not ideal. It's not ideal because like the garage is super small.
Yeah.
The roads, they're not as great. So it's not like anything that is like to brag about, but you know, like an E63, nothing crazy. Like, I don't know, 2017 or something. It's a nice car there. It's bulletproof.
Right. It is bulletproof.
It is bulletproof.
Have you ever got shot at?
No, thank God.
Do you think that you're a target with an E63 over there?
I wouldn't say so long as, like, that's another reason. Like, ever since I got married, had a kid, I've been a lot less flashy. Like, if you go to my old, like, posts and everything, it's all cars, watches, and everything in between.
Yeah.
You don't want the wrong type of attention there.
Right.
You know, because, the police can't do the same stuff that they do here.
Of course.
So.
Have you ever had any issues over there?
Thank God, no.
No, knock on wood. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Wherever I could find
Yeah, right? That's crazy. And you spoke about living in Edgewater. I saw on your Instagram videos in the Porsche building. Did you live there?
I lived at Porsche. I moved there in the end of 2021. I moved out in 2022.
How was it?
It was great. I really enjoyed it. I've wanted to move back, but my wife's an interior designer, and she can't stand the floor plan because 90% of the units are the same 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, or 3.5-bathroom floor plan, 3,130 square foot. You have one giant box as the living room and kitchen, and then you have 3 bedrooms.
Nice.
And the bedrooms are so oversized. Like, our guest bedroom had 3 beds in it and still had plenty of room.
That's great.
It is great, but, like, that's space that could be utilized for other things, like a video game room or a movie theater or anything else. So it was cool living on the beach, being in that network, Bugattis in the garage, you know, professional athletes, artists, everything in the middle. It was really cool. I would say one thing, and don't mean to talk bad, one thing I didn't like was the parking fees. So you only were able to store 2 cars in your garage in your living room because there was a car elevator.
Right.
You'd go in the car elevator, it'd bring the car up, put it in your living room, which was sick. But you only had 2 spaces there. For every extra car you wanted to have downstairs, $2,000 a month.
$2,000 a month?
That's someone's rent.
Holy shit.
And I had 3 or 4 cars down there on top of what I had in the garage at one moment. I'm like, dude, I could have a whole nother house.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But I mean, then again, you got to look at the clientele that they're pulling in. So they're gonna pay it not bat an eyelash.
Right. And was the car elevator any good, or would it?
It was
break?
sick. Everybody thinks it breaks or this, that, the other. I remember when I did the orientation, they told me, don't start your car in the elevator. Everything will shut down, fire alarm will go off, all the things will reset, go to the bottom.
Oh shit.
I don't remember the exact number, but the manager, George, said it was like a $10,000 or $20,000 fine because it shuts down for all the residents. And imagine if you're some A-list celebrity and you're like, I can't take my car down.
Wait, if you start your car?
If you start your car in the elevator, everything stops.
And what about if it's in your living room? Yeah, does that count as part of the elevator or no?
I've never tried it.
You never tried?
I've been too scared.
Because I'd be like, naturally, I get in the car, I start it.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, I'd be like, oh shit.
I couldn't tell you, but I'm not sure how they tell it starts. I don't know if there's like an emissions sensor or something in it. Maybe
probably
they
like
think
carbon
it's fire.
monoxide or something.
But
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Was the networking worth it living there, or you don't really interact?
I met some cool people, but there everybody wants to be left alone.
Yeah.
You know, everybody gets harassed outside of there.
Right.
That they just want to be at peace. If you're at the pool and other people are at the pool and you guys are like socially drinking, then it's different, right?
Right.
Or sometimes they would host events like 4th of July event for the building. Then like everybody's downstairs enjoying themselves.
Right.
Same with like the beachfront service and all that kind of stuff. So you could network in those instances, but no one wants you to sell them in the elevator. No one cares about what you do. They make enough money.
Right.
So right there, I think it was cool for me. I definitely felt like the brokest person in that building. I probably wasn't. I was the youngest person for sure. I think I was.
That's for sure.
I was 19 when I signed that lease.
Wow.
And
how much was it?
I got a deal. I negotiated. I was paying like 23 grand a month. So
it's even cheaper now.
It is a little bit, but I remember there were some of my boys that stayed there like pre-COVID for like 14 bands a month. I couldn't believe that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, with there, I'm not sure if it's the same with every building. It's first month rent, last month rent, one for the condo owner, one for association. So I had to cut like $100K check just to move in.
Yeah. Damn, that's a pain in the ass.
Pain in the ass.
It was worth it though?
For sure. For sure. I definitely, like, the thing is, like, my wife was pregnant, or she got pregnant. And so it became a lot more private. So I definitely didn't get the value out of like the content and all the kind of stuff I actually could have done there.
Yeah.
But it was nice. I really enjoyed it. Just waking up with that view, the sun rising over the water. Nothing beats it.
Have you ever lived in the Brickell area?
No.
No.
I'm not a fan, to be honest, simply because like when I can't find parking, it bugs me. Like, it's a pet peeve for some odd reason. And I'm not the biggest fan. I lived in Edgewater. I lived at Paramount Bay. I had the whole floor. It was sick, 4,800 square foot. But same thing, there's like homeless people downstairs. The park is dirty. So I think that's something I definitely that's something I definitely preferred about Sunny Isles was the organization, the cleanliness, the caliber of people that are in that area compared to, in Brickell, you have a lot of people that want to be the influencers, that want to be entrepreneurs. They're entrepreneurs.
Yeah, they're a bunch of bullshitters.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't have the patience for that.
Yeah, there are a lot here. Because I'm moving soon, and I'm considering like whether I should go to Edgewater. I was considering Sunny Isles too. The Armani Casa, you get some great deals at Armani. You can get like a
corner unit for like $27,000.
Yeah.
Nice. But the one thing I did not like about living in Sunny is like if you go out a lot, you go out to dinner and anything like that, you want to go to South Beach, 30, 45 minutes there. And then after you ate and drank a little bit, you're tired, 30, 45 minutes back.
Yeah, that's the issue with it.
Yeah, it's that's the only thing that wasn't ideal, but for day-to-day living, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I had the beach in front of me, never used it. I had a pool on my balcony, never used it. So
you're just working.
Yeah, that's all.
That's how it is.
And honestly, I didn't even drive my cars that much because Collins would get such bad traffic.
Yeah.
So the only time I would leave the house was in two instances in reality. It was one, to go to the coffee shop across the street and grab a coffee, or two, to go to the bank. And if I went to the bank, I wouldn't even drive my car. I had an electric scooter.
Really?
I'd pull up to the bank on the electric scooter, go through the drive-through there. It was the most hilarious thing ever.
That's funny. So you wouldn't even have to go to the warehouse in Miami?
No, because it was all automated. Employees, manager, the whole nine. Everything I could do was just, my job was to make sure future revenue was there for the company.
Gotcha.
Buying deals, selling deals, buying deals, selling deals, bringing new clients. That's it.
Nice. That's awesome. So Brazil is your next play, or your current play, I should say.
For sure. So we're building up our distribution network there. And what you realize when you travel is people don't play by the same business rules that we do, meaning they are all amateurs. Like if all of your marketing for your company is just a WhatsApp number on your door, you don't have a website, you're not running social media ads, any of these things, I'm gonna be able to blow these people out of the water.
That's true.
So yeah, I'm super excited. We're establishing our business-to-business transactions there. Like I said, we're importing products from the States down there, which is a little difficult because of all the taxes and the fees. We're also exporting products from there to the States, selling them on Amazon. And that's the main play as of right now, yes.
Have you realized that people do business differently as well, like culturally? Like, you see a lot of changes?
I couldn't say so because I do speak a little bit of Portuguese, but I'm not fluent. So I hired someone, and he's the one who's actually handling the day-to-day interaction. So I couldn't tell you. I just could tell you what I hear from him.
Yeah. Dude, your Portuguese is pretty good. You were talking earlier. It sounded like you were damn near fluent.
But it's it's pretty simple. I know what I hear from him, and it seems like everybody's pretty relaxed out there.
Nice.
Here, if you want to open up a wholesale account with someone big like Gillette, they're going to interrogate you.
Right.
Or like Hershey's, they sent a person out to our warehouse to inspect it, make sure the square footage was there, make sure we had a refrigeration unit, which we didn't have, so they did not approve the account.
Damn.
Because they sell like chocolates and candies and all these things.
Yeah, of course.
They want to make sure the products don't arrive melted to the customers, which I understand.
Right.
So yeah, there's all these little things, and the biggest play is import and export. Just because like Amazon's great, anything I land here in the States is basically sold, but let's be real, as more people are hopping into the business, it does get a little bit more difficult. But also, as many people that are hopping into the business is as many people that are actually leaving the business as well.
Right.
So, I think Amazon's still a great play if you want to go from 0 to 100K, 0 to your first million. After you actually build up the cash flow, take that cash flow, invest it in physical assets, and go from there.
Yeah.
Because it's a cash flow play. Like, you're not going to be able to sell your FBA wholesale company whatsoever. If you do, you're going to hit someone over the head for a 1 to 2x multiple, and he's a sucker.
Yeah.
So, there's no other value besides the actual cash flow.
Right. And where do you see yourself in the next 3, 5, 10 years?
To be honest, I couldn't tell you. I'd say the biggest thing for me is just focusing day by day, doing what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, to build the current companies. But I would say my goal in 3 to 5 years, all these automated, make exits, take a step back. I'll be maybe 25 years old in 3 years. And
retire.
I wouldn't say retired because I'm someone that's like very anxious.
I'm kidding.
I can't sit down. I can't sit still.
Yeah, me too. I'm the same way.
My mind never stops. So I just say when you have that kind of capital, you could actually pursue a passion project.
Yeah.
So there's so many other things I prefer, whether it's the gym, whether it's racing, whether it's whatever. Don't get it twisted. I do like doing product research. I do like finding opportunities and everything that, you know, is within my business. But do I see myself doing it forever? I can't say so.
Gotcha. Nice. Awesome, man. Well, I'm excited to see what you're going to be doing within the next 3 to 5 years. At 22, this is fucking amazing, man. Amazing. At 22 years old, you should be very proud of yourself. And
I'm a little hard on myself if I'm going to be honest. But yeah, I've definitely accomplished a little bit more than the average Joe.
Man. Without a doubt. Awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time. I think we touched on everything. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we end it?
No.
If people want to reach out to you, what's your Instagram?
At KNZO. 4 letters.
KNZO. Easy. Anything anywhere else that you're pretty active on?
No, I'm just on Instagram. I need to focus on that omnipresence. I need to be on YouTube and TikTok and all these other places, but
you're doing great on Instagram.
I think that's the next play. I think let's focus a little bit more on the social media. Let's get a marketing manager. Let's get some social media managers. Let's start actually focusing on that. So I think that's probably what I'll most immediately be focusing on.
Yeah.
But going from there, like I said, these exits is what I'm really, holding my breath for.
Awesome. Well, guys, follow him on Instagram so you could follow along his journey. And his stories are awesome. You guys will see his stories from Brazil, which is what I saw last week, which was sick. And now he's sitting here telling his story. So thank you again, brother. I really appreciate it.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.